An often overlooked feature of the Bernina software is the fabric settings, and by using the correct fabric setting you can often improve the final stitch out of your design. So to demonstrate that, when a design is digitized, in this case this is one of the inbuilt designs, so that's been digitized and the fabric setting has been set. Now I'll just go to find that. You go to Design, Fabric, and this design was designed with a woven medium weight as the default, and it has got notes here: topping and backing, and cutaway ×2. So that's the suggested stabilizer, and it's not suggesting any sort of topping for this design. Now, if you're not going to sew this on a woven medium weight fabric, you may decide to sew it on something else. You might want to change this. What that means is that the woven medium weight fabric has particular settings for underlays, stitch types, etc. So for instance, when I'll just go to a blank design, I'll have to close that. When you're digitizing a design, and you use a closed object, for instance, and you use a step fill, and if I right click on the step fill, I'll get the object properties up, and you can see these stitch spacing, stitch length, etc. settings. Now these are defined by the fabric setting. So the woven medium weight, which is the default fabric setting for your design, will have these settings, but if you choose a different fabric they'll be slightly different to optimize the stitching for the fabric. Close that and go back to design 1, and so you can change the fabric, as I said. So if you go design, fabric, and you need to click in this box here, apply fabric, to be able to have the drop down menu here available. You can then drop down the menu. Now the software comes with these inbuilt fabric settings: a knit lightweight, a knit medium weight, a knit heavyweight, a terry medium weight, a terry heavyweight, and light, medium and heavy in the woven fabrics. So there's not a huge range there, but you know, a lot of your fabric types will fit there. So if you're going to sew this onto terry toweling, you might want to choose one of the terry weight settings. So just have a look here, down in the bottom right. We've got 7,298 stitches at the moment. If I go to a terry heavyweight, let's say, click on that, and go OK, you get another option here to apply the fabric to existing objects or to leave existing objects unchanged. Generally you're going to use the first option, but if you're digitizing a design and you are adding extra features after, and the first part of the design stitches okay with the current settings, then you might want to leave those but apply a different setting for the new features. So I'm just going to go OK for the moment. So that has changed the stitch settings here, and if we look down, we've now got 8,250 stitches. So before it was 7,000 and something stitches. So it's actually increased the number of stitches to give a better coverage on the pile of the toweling. So even with the topping of your solvay or whatever you put on top of your pile, the extra stitching is going to make the coverage of that pile after you wash away the topping much better. There are other settings that would have been changed as well. Now, to see what the settings are for each of those inbuilt fabric types, you can come to the manual, the reference manual, and that's under Help Reference Manual, and it's on page 88 it starts, so it's in the Properties, Fabrics and Templates section, which is under Digitizing Techniques. And so it's page 88 in the actual manual, but it's actually page 90 in the PDF. And as you scroll down, you can see these different fabrics on the left, and then you've got the step length and spacing, the satin auto spacing, an underlay type, and of course we can have 1 or 2 different underlays, and then the pull compensation, which also can change. So here you can see the pull compensation for a wide satin in a knit lightweight is 0.25, whereas for a step stitch on the knit lightweight the pull compensation is 0.2. So by applying any one of these different fabrics, you can, as I said, you might get an improved stitch out of your final design. Now you're not limited to these fabrics. You can actually create your own custom fabrics, and if you keep scrolling down, it will tell you how to do that. Probably best left until you, if you're not an experienced embroiderer, to wait until you see how your different designs stitch out, and then you can carry on and create custom fabrics for particular fabrics that you use that don't quite fit any of the fabrics included in the original inbuilt fabrics. And I'm not going to show you how to do that in this video because it's supposed to be a quick tip, but just have a good read through that manual about that, and I'll be covering this in detail in my digitizing course, which is available on my website. For more quick tips on how to digitize with the Bernina embroidery software, then click on the subscribe button. And don't forget to hit the bell notifications.